Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do that. Okay, sorry the fan is super loud. It is super hot today and it came out of nowhere. Today I'm going on a little drive. I thought I'd just do a little story time while I'm driving. I'm trying to just get out of the house and find something to do because I'm losing my mind being inside all day every day. So we're just gonna go for a drive and talk. I'm gonna tell you guys about my 21st birthday. As you know, my 21st birthday was during quarantine. For obvious reasons, there's limitations. Most people, you know, on their 21st birthday, they go out to a bar, they go out to dinner, get a drink. Well, not me. I had to stay inside, obviously. I had some family members come over and it was nice. Don't get me wrong, I was very thankful to have my family over and be able to spend my birthday with my family. But I didn't even get to have a drink on my 21st birthday like, you know, one would. We had a nice dinner. We just had a nice time overall. We had cake, you know, ice cream, and we just hung out and talked and, you know, had a good time. I don't even know where I'm going. Hey Siri. Okay, it's struggling. Hey Siri, take me to a park. Oh man, I missed the turn. Ah! So I didn't get to do anything for my 21st birthday. My envision, that doesn't make any sense. My vision for my 21st birthday was to go to this Mexican restaurant that is local to the town outside my university. It's kind of the tradition between my friends and I. We go for everybody's birthdays, especially their 21st birthday. We go to this Mexican restaurant, and mind you, this is a good Mexican restaurant. This is like the most delicious Mexican restaurant I've ever been to personally. They have these really good frozen drinks. I don't even really know what they are. Obviously they have margaritas. They also have this drink called like the octopus or something, and it's like huge and it's frozen and it's colorful and it's got like swirls through it. I've always wanted to try it because I've always seen my friends get it and it looks really good. I like fruity drinks, you know. I didn't get to do that, so that was kind of a bummer. I didn't get to have the experience that someone having a 21st birthday would. But my family promised me once this quarantine stuff is over with, we'll all go out, have a good time, go out to dinner, get some drinks, do the thing. Because my family, we like to get together and do things. I'm the baby in my family, so like all of my cousins and my siblings are older. They have all been 21 for a little bit and over, obviously. Now we can all drink together, and I'm no longer the designated driver because your girl gets to drink now. Somebody else can be the designated driver for a while until I've had my fix. But I also wanted to finally do that car tour today. If I find somewhere I can go that's a little bit private, a little more open. My grandma lives in like a tight-knit neighborhood, but she lives in a townhouse. We don't really have our own driveway and our own yard, so it's kind of awkward to like film out in front of her townhouse because people come in and out all the time. I'm trying to find like an abandoned parking lot that I can go to and like record this car tour. I'll see you when I get there or find a place. Okay, so update, I was not able to find anywhere that was like barren or empty to go do this video, so I came back home. There's an old lady walking up and down the street. Here we go. Okay, I'll start with the front. It's a Jeep Renegade, and obviously Pete the CarMax. Got it at CarMax. There that is. I love the sign. Look at that beast. I'll save the inside for last. This is the back. Again, Pete the CarMax. And then my mom made this because she makes those stickers. I got the Sport Edition. There's like a million different editions. Latitude, Altitude, Trailhawk, and then Sport. Let me open up the back. It has a little button right there. Ooh, I got a whole bag of clothes from my apartment. The back is pretty spacious. I love it. Got these little things. Honestly, I don't know what you would put here. And then there's this thing. It's got like a, I guess another charging port kind of area and a light. And then this is pink. Okay, there's a lot of detailing on this car. First of all, these little lines are orange. There's something significant about orange with the sport editions. I don't know if you can see, but there's like this little tiny Bigfoot. I can't tell if you can see. Let me go to the front. There's a detailing in the front too. There's an old timey Jeep on the front. Now let's check out, why am I like making things harder for myself? Let's check out the back seat. Now notice the purple. There's purple accents all over the car, and obviously, you know, there's the Jeep like 7 lines. I think there's something about Jeep in all 7 continents, and that's why there's 7 little lines on Jeeps. But this purple detailing is everywhere. The accents are everywhere. Here's the back seats, one solid piece. It says Jeep all over the seats, the front and the back seats. I got some crap in here from when I went to my apartment to like move some of my things out, lol. And then there's my umbrella. I think both of these sections pull down. Oh, interesting. Car seat. I'm learning. Oh, here we are. You pull this little lever, like thing, and this can pull down completely. Oh, lol, all of my clothes fell over. That probably wasn't my best idea. Oh, rip. Smells like my apartment. That's funny. Like all those clothes smell like my apartment. You know, like every home has like a signature smell. The other side comes down too, and I'll come around again with the purple accents. So this side has a little lever too. Gotta move the thing away, the seat belt. Pull this down, it goes flat. Top tether. I don't really know what that's for, but there's that. Can pull that back up. Oh shoot, gotta pull the seat belt back out. Did it click? I guess it's back in. There, it clicked. Okay, and this is the back. These seats are very comfy. I like them better than leather. They have a lot of cushion to them. And here is the front. Got my textbooks that I have to mail back to school. Got my camera bag, and then, you know, the Jeep symbol everywhere. The accents again. The front accent is even on my radio, and it says since 1941. And there's the gear shift thingy, and the cup holders. Everything's accented with purple, and I love it. It's my favorite color, as y'all know. We got the air stuff. There's USB and there's aux. This is awesome. This car has 4-wheel drive, automatic 4-wheel drive. There's an auto setting, if it'll focus. There's an auto setting, a snow setting, a sand setting, and a mud setting. Also, this car is press to start and press to stop. These are the keys. This is what they look like. Jeep. Here's the steering wheel. I'm showing you guys from this side because I'm short, so I'm like really close to the wheel, so I wanted to like show you guys from this perspective a little further back. And here's this. And I love the interior because the dash and everything is leather and stuff, and it's like a really nice leather, and it's even in the doors. The chair material is right here too. You have to press the brake when you press to start. It's hot, and I'm ready to turn the air back on, so I'm about to go in the driver's seat again. As you can see, there's like a little keyhole, so there is a key that you can pull out of the like key fob thing. It doesn't have like buttons to press like some press to start cars do. Let me turn on. So I'm pressing the brake and go. There it is, Jeep. Oh man, let's just turn it off. Oh, and then there's the middle console. Got hand sanitizer, little slot. This is where I normally keep my keys in. Ooh, don't tell anybody, but I keep a spare key in here. Because I can do that in this car since my car doesn't have the buttons on the doorknobs, because a lot of times those press to start cars, if you're within a certain radius, you can, you know, unlock the car or whatever, but mine doesn't have the buttons on the doorknob, so I can leave a pair of extra keys in here just in case. Here is some more detailing. At first when I was test driving this car, I thought this orange was like chipped paint, but the guy was like, no, that's like a sport edition thing. They have this splattered orange paint on here. And then I got this digital setting in front of my wheel. I still have not figured out how to change the time. The time is not correct in my car. I can see my mileage and everything. This car does really well for like a SUV or like a crossover gas wise. 26.8, that's incredible. It's got all the like cool things, cool information, and I'm just pressing it with this little arrow. And when I have my phone hooked up to the USB, not the aux, but the USB, I can like click media or whatever, and I can change it from here or like with this knob, the songs. I can't do it on the wheel, which is kind of sad. Of course, cruise control. I like the cruise control in here because it's very simple to understand. And the lights are here, all of this, y'all know the standard stuff. And here is like my phone mount and my camera mount. And I've never really played with all this stuff up here. Here's this, and it's got this little pull out thing, block the sun. One downside is this doesn't have a light. And then my mom gave me this little Bath and Body Works scent thingy. I love it. It's really pretty, rose gold. And I got a little slot for things here. I got my apartment keys, earbuds, chapstick, whatever, lotion. Oh, this car, I love this. It's got a little knob thing just to do the emergency brake. You just push it to undo it, and then you pull it to do it, but your foot has to be on the brake. It's lit up orange. orange when it's on. I've noticed and discovered something by accident. It automatically takes the emergency brake off when you start driving. And it's been confusing me because I didn't realize it was doing that at first. And then I would drive away and I'm like, didn't I have the emergency brake on? I should really show you guys my face. And I'm like, didn't I have the emergency brake on? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did. And then there was one time I started driving off and I knew I had the emergency brake on, and then I heard it turn off or like undo or whatever, because it makes a little sound. It's very subtle, very quiet. And I was like, oh, so this is confirmation. It does undo it like as soon as you start driving. So that's kind of cool. So I don't technically have to undo it, but I feel better undoing it. I'm going to tell you guys the story about me going to buy this car. I had been looking for a car for a long time. I desperately needed a car. It was getting to the point where it was ridiculous. I was walking several miles to work and several miles to campus, back and forth every day, and it was getting very old very quickly, and it was kind of, you know, messing with me. So I was like, I need to get a car. I don't care if I had to do a payment. I just need to do something. My friend told me about CarMax and how, you know, they are really good with working with you, and they work reverse as far as the budget. You tell them what you're willing to pay as a down payment and what you're willing to pay as a monthly payment, and then they create an overall budget based off that information. They let you do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, because most dealerships, you have to give them an overall budget that you're like looking towards, or a budget you're wanting to stay within, and they will pick a down payment for you and a monthly payment for you, and you never know what they're going to tell you. But CarMax, you know exactly what your down payment and your monthly payment is going into it before you even come in the doors, because you can go online and get pre-approved based off what you told them you can do as a down payment and as a monthly payment, and based off your credit score. I started looking into cars on CarMax, and I started realizing that I really like the Renegades, like the Jeep Renegades. And I never thought I was ever gonna get a Jeep. I always heard horror stories about Jeeps. It's usually obviously specific Jeeps that have problems. I haven't heard anything bad about Renegades. And I knew one thing was for sure, that I wanted like an SUV type or a crossover type car. I did not want a small car or something low to the ground. I wanted to be high up because I'm short and it just makes me feel better and feel safer. I drove a truck. I drove a Tundra like when I was 14, 15 years old, so I was used to the high up cars. Fast forward, I found this Renegade, was in my budget online. I found it online. I noticed the purple accents and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Like, this is the one. I was on the phone with my mom when I found it, and she's like, no, don't get your hopes up because you just don't know. I was worried that I would be pre-approved, and then when I got to the CarMax, they'd be like, sorry, you can't get it. And I'm like, I start, you know, getting excited about this specific model. And I was already upset because the other models I had been looking at were gone by the time I checked again, because this happened over a span of several weeks. And so the Renegade models that I originally liked and found were gone. And then this one, you know, I fell in love with this one because I didn't even know that you could get colors in your car, like accents like this. And I was like, purple's my favorite color. I was like, I have to have it. I go to my mom's, I think the next day, and we tried to get to the CarMax, but listen, her car, she had this van with like 200 plus miles on it. She only paid $800 for it. My mom comes to pick me up from my grandma's, and on the way home that night, her van breaks down. And I'm like, oh crap. My stepdad, he picks us up. We have to leave the van there because we obviously can't drive it. He drives us home. He's mad. The next morning, he drives out back to the van. He tries to fix it, whatever. I don't know exactly how it all went down, but he was able to basically get it back home, the van, and he said it was something about the transmission. He put transmission fluid in it, and it was a temporary fix. The next day, me and my mom get all dolled up to go to CarMax so I can get this car, at least look at this car. My stepdad basically was like, it's probably not a good idea, because the CarMax was an hour and a half away from my mom's house. He was like, it's probably not a good idea, it's probably not gonna make it that far. And we're like, well, Mary needs a car desperately, and we need to do what we can, you know, we need to at least try. My mom had promised me she'd take me, and she felt bad, and so she was trying to make it happen. So he lets us go. We don't make it 20 minutes down the road, the van breaks down. I'm gonna start driving because I just want to drive. We're forced to park in front of someone's yard, in front of their house. We're in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing within miles. Like, civilization is miles and miles away. Walking would take days. We're just on a long open highway, basically. My mom is like, we're gonna have to knock on their door, those people's door. And I was like,
Okay.
And she was like, come with me. I was like, no, you do it. She's like, no, I don't want to go alone. And I said, okay. So me and her go up to the door. No one came to the door because everyone in that household was outside. They see that we're at the door and they come around the back to find us. And they were actually really nice. We told them our problem and they drove us to the nearest, I want to say it was an AutoZone. I think it was an AutoZone, which was like 10 miles away, I think is what they said. I bought 4 things of transmission fluid because that had worked before. They take us back to their house where the van is. They help us put the transmission fluid in it and everything because me and my mom don't really know what we're doing. We start driving. It seems like it's okay. It's working. And we wave to them. We give them the thumbs up like, thank you so much. And like shout out the window. We go on our merry way. And I remember telling my mom, I said, we just have to make it to the CarMax. If we get to the CarMax, we can just dump this piece of junk off there. Maybe they can let us use it as a down payment or something, or take the parts, something. I know CarMax is picky about the cars that they take and everything, but I think they take parts. We didn't get 2 miles down the road and that van broke down again, and lo and behold, we had to stop and like park in front of someone's yard again, in front of someone's house. At this point, me and my mom are sobbing. My mom goes up to the house by herself, like up to the door, and asks to use the bathroom, tells them the situation. She's calling my stepdad too before she even went to the house, telling him the situation. Of course, he's mad. He's like, you shouldn't have gone anyways, it was stupid. She feels totally guilty because she wanted to help me. It seemed like we were never going to make it to the CarMax. I'm crying, calling my grandma. I think I called both my grandmas actually, from both sides of my family. And my mom also tells the man at that house and the wife, it was a husband and wife, an older couple, she tells them the situation and how our van's gonna have to just sit there for like 24 hours. We didn't know what to do because my stepdad, he was telling us he was out of gas. My step grandma, who lives with them, was out of town. She was probably like an hour and a half away with my little sister, and she was not going to be coming home until later that night. We thought we were stuck there. We didn't know what to do. Of course, my stepdad finally came and got us. He made it work. He made it happen. I could be wrong, but I think we sat there for like 2 or 3 hours before he got there. I think it was like 2 days later. My stepdad was going down there and he was like, I can take you with me on the way to my job. He had like a job to go to. He said, but are you sure that you're going to be able to leave with a car? I said, I don't know. I don't want to say for certain. So he was like, I don't want to take you tomorrow if you're not certain if you can leave with a car, because you'd get stuck at that CarMax for hours. But then he was like, I'll just take you in a couple of days. Thank God. I just didn't think it would happen. I waited a couple more days. He took me and my mom to this CarMax. Lo and behold, this Jeep was still there. I'm telling you guys, it was meant to be. It was the only car I test drove. I only test drove this one. I immediately came in and I said, do you guys have this 2017 Jeep Renegade? And they were like, yeah, we still have it. And I was like, that's what I want to test drive. And I told them that I had pre-registered or like got pre-approved online or whatever. So he let me test drive it. My mom, when we test drove it, noticed that the car said since 1941 on the dash or whatever, like around my radio. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. She's like, this is the year my dad was born, my grandpa, obviously. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I decided to get the car. I was like, this is the one. This is what I want. I'm in love with it. Let's get it. So I'm signing for the car. My mom comes in because my mom was watching them, because at CarMax, they clean your car before they give it to you and everything, and they put a big bow on it, and it's super exciting. My mom watched them clean it and also made sure to tell them to fill it up with gas. She started talking to the guy cleaning my car as I was signing the papers. She's like, how long have you been working here? And he was like, oh, about 21 years. I started working here in 1999. And she's like, no way, that's the year that my daughter was born, the one that's buying this vehicle. And so my mom told me about that, and she was like, oh my gosh, it's another good omen. Another thing, when I was signing for my car, I was so shaky and nervous. I thought I was gonna like pass out. I could not believe I was getting a car. I was like shaking as I was signing, and I told the lady, oh my gosh, that's another good omen I forgot to mention. I'm shaking as I'm signing, and I told the woman, I said, I'm just so nervous. Like I told her I was shaking. I was like, I can't believe like I'm actually getting a car. And I told her my situation, and I told her how I had been trying to get a car for so long. I told her I was in school, and she asked me my major, and I said, I'm a health management major. And she said, that's what I do. And I said, no way. I guess her CarMax job is like her side job or her weekend job, but she said that she went to school for the same thing, and that's the career that she's in, like the career path she's following. That's another good sign for me. And I told her that, and she said, oh, and she told me like her story, like her background and everything, and told me like what kinds of things I could pursue with my degree. I told her I was about to graduate, like I'd be graduating in December, possibly. She was all excited for me and congratulated me. It was just really nice. The whole day was really nice, even though I was nervous out of my mind and I was shaking the whole time. Part of it was probably because I was hungry. I bought this car on March 10th, and I found out that that's the day my grandma on my mom's side's father was born. It was just reassuring to like have those good omens making such a huge purchase, because it's very nerve-wracking to make such a huge purchase. But when you feel confident and you're getting these good omens and it feels like it's meant to be, it's really like comforting and reassuring. And so I didn't have a doubt buying this. Like I felt really good about it, and I'm so thankful for it. I was so shook when they handed me the keys and let me just drive off. This was too easy. Like, did they seriously like let me have this car? It was such a quick and easy process. I highly recommend CarMax. That's my little story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna drive home now, but please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.